Humans had three basic wishes: life, liberty, and the ability to pop bubble wrap while sinking into a mind-numbing contemplation of oblivion. Meetings and lectures had none of those things, since they deadened your soul, removed your free will by trapping you in a room, and didn't even offer any bubble wrap. That was one of many things that Mikri could never understand about humans seeking pleasure, that we could find it in something so pointless as squishing away air pockets. We should wrap the tin can in bubble wrap since I break him all the time. That way I can also reach over and pop him constantly. He'd love it. I understood that there were important discussions to be had, with the spoils going to the winners and whatnot. The Raws were gone from Jorlan now, and brokering coexistence between the organic and mechanical Vaskar wouldn't be easy. Furthermore, the Earth Space Union needed to finalize relations with the Durandi and reach back out to the Girret. Our singular interaction with the purple reptiles had been cut short when Larimak threatened them away. Frankly, I hoped that the Girret had more balls than Jetty and her people.
Preston, are we not going to discuss how close you were to initiating your own permanent destruction? Mikri asked, as I skipped down the halls toward the meeting. I grinned at the robot. Nope, I'm retconning that from my life. Boop, delete. Pull up the old emotions charts. I'm the happiest man alive and always have been. Says it right there.
You cause me great distress. I must ensure that this will not happen again. You have both stated to me that you did not wish to die, yet Preston did, under certain circumstances. This is a top priority issue to fix, so I do not wish to pretend this did not occur. No gaslighting.
Vanare hopped along next to us. I hadn't even noticed he'd joined the posse heading for the meeting.
I understand exactly why Preston reached that pit of despair, Mikri. I felt it about the potential of losing my family when Tamura was under attack. They mean enough to me that I cannot live without them. Emotionality is natural when home has everything that matters.
You're surprisingly sympathetic to us, I grunted. Jetty screamed at me about my judgment bringing you here while the attack was ongoing.
I can't speak to your vacation planning skills, but you're at my cooking, so humans must have good judgment in one area. I don't know why they're so afraid of you and so hard on you. From what I've seen, you're alright. You're just people.
Petition to make this guy the ambassador instead. Sophia feigned surprise.
But he doesn't come with a Hiri.
Good, he's hired, Mikri decided.
Whoa, not so fast. Let's negotiate here, I said, reconsidering. We haven't seen Vanare's kids yet. They could be ugly ducklings.
Vanare scoffed. My 3 children are all adorable, and I won't hear any insinuation otherwise. I'm a proud father. Do you people lack the sense to never anger someone who makes your food? I started as a humble line chef at a chain restaurant. I've been in enough kitchens to know things.
Virgin Jetty says to never anger the dimension hoppers. Chad Vanare knows that Sol have no fury, like germ factory buffets and the taco place across the street. You should try those, chefy boy. Get a taste of Earth. Salmonella Supreme, botulism brisket, enchilada de E. coli.
My ears. Never tried to speak Spanish in the slightest.
Sophia groaned. What? You speak for the whole region state of Spain now? I didn't know your passport was a language police barrier. Someone has to stand up against this attack on our culture. You read a Mexican food menu once and thought it was our entire lexicon? Isn't it? Chalupa azul fuego.
Fuego, Mikri agreed.
Sophia's face took on a defeated look. Mikri, come on. You don't want to sound ignorant.
My apologies, Fifi. I will take your side next time.
The scientists threw up her hands in disgust, while Vanare turned back toward his room. The Durandi chef wasn't cleared to be in this essential military briefing. The only alien guest, who was already waiting by the table, was Kapal. General Takahashi must have been impressed by his precognition mapping project, and had invited him to help in a formal capacity.
It felt a bit unfair to still be treating him as a prisoner, though maybe his circumstances would change with the war over, in light of the help he'd given. In fact, it makes very little sense from a security perspective to allow a prisoner of war to be in our briefings. Did we officially paperclip Kapal? "Hey, Kapal," I said, settling down next to the brown-furred organic without too much jitters. "Thank you for the assist back on the battlefield. You're a leading expert on precog without even having it yourself." Kapal's eyes gleamed, and his jowls waggled with pride.
I enjoy a good puzzle. It's been a long time since I could put my deductive reasoning skills to proper use. Might I add, it's my heartfelt relief that my order of events was off. Sol stands today, and we know more about the nature of this war. It's as if the Elusians had some interest in keeping you safe.
Perhaps this was not an act of kindness, but to maintain their neutrality. The Elusians seem to have greater awareness than many organics, Mikri commented. They may have realized that their portal opened you up to harm, and attempted to nullify any risks of their self-centered experimentation.
Billions of human lives were saved from Laramak the Insane. Whatever their motives, surely we can send them a thank you, Sophia countered. I think we've done enough of assuming the Elusians' wishes. Kapal thought they would kill us. The history-loving alien scratched one of his circular ears sheepishly.
I misinterpreted the data. It was difficult to contextualize in advance, based on the limited details that humans provided. It's a learning process for me as well. I apologize for giving the wrong impression and causing undue distress. It was useful to know.
Mikri placed a comforting paw on Kapal's shoulders.
It allowed me to deduce that Sol may have survived, thus averting the outcome where Preston would not be here. You saved my friend.
I nodded. Yeah, you've done a heck of a job, Kapal. You shrugged off us seeing the future and turned us in the portal into your own little science fair. I can see that you're no soldier. And no Laramak. You're a sharp guy, and I'd vouch for your release in a heartbeat.
Oh, that was already granted, Kapal answered. In light of my assistance and cooperation with the ESU, I was granted an official release after Laramak's defeat. I'm here as a guest, by choice. I do believe in your cause and in the work with Mikri. It's been a great surprise to find a friend in an entity I saw as nothing more than a microchip devoted to our slaughter. I believed that you were monsters incapable of sympathy for us, who saw us as only slaves, Mikri acknowledged. I hope the network can be persuaded to see the value of coexistence, as I have. They believe you will always be a threat to us, so long as you live, and would not spare us if the tables were turned. Your network is right on the last account. I would have agreed with your complete destruction not too long ago. This was noted from our first interaction. It is okay. It was not any worse than what I expected of a creator. I forgive you. What is surprising to me is that you stay here, rather than return to Jorlan now that Laramak is deposed. I thought you would miss your home. You suggested to Jetty that you would want to go back if the monarchy and its conscriptions were no longer a factor.
Kapal chuckled.
I could be at home teaching history, or watch his tapestry unfold live. You think I want to leave before learning what the Elusians sought from you? They're a great mystery even to us Keelan dwellers. I'm not one to leave my work uncompleted.
Unless it's fixing your teeth. I can see the gap in your gums, buddy, I remarked. Are they ever going to get you some dentures?
Your people offered, but I'm not even sure if soul dentures are safe. I declined. What if I bite my own tongue by accident with your materials? A life without tasting food
is like a permanent diet. Lettuce and sadness.
Exactly.
General Takahashi cleared her throat, and the room fell silent. The invited guests were all present. I was a little worried I was included in these get-togethers, as the pretty face of first contact, or worse, as Sophia, Mikri and Kapal's sidekick. I needed to make some smart-sounding guesses about the Elusians too, and pronto, so I wouldn't get tossed from the nerd club. Nobody but me had brought up the probing, which could be a critical oversight. Maybe they thought us seeing the future was super hot, and protected us for easy hookups across the space-time continuum, interdimensional being to interdimensional being. Seems fifth-dimensional enough for me. Everyone is just guessing with what they think anyway, so why is my theory any less valid? Mikri needs to hear this logic.
Dr. Aguado, would you mind elaborating on the reasoning behind this new proposal to contact the Elusians?
The General asked, cutting straight to business. Sophia stood, smiling.
Of course. The Elusians have taken an interest in us, and we learned from experience that their barrier around Sol was meant to protect us. I'll keep it very simple, ma'am. They left a portal wide open for us. There has never been a shred of hostility, only scientific curiosity. I don't believe there's a danger in returning that gesture and going to them with our own curiosity, and deepest gratitude for saving our dimension. Every single alien species says to stay out of the Elusians' way, to leave them alone. Why kick the hornet's nest now when we just resolved one goddamn war? Because a good many species fear our abilities too, rather than considering that we are just people. The Elusians only turn other races away because they can't pass through the portals. Clearly, they know we're different. Notice how Sol's breach is the only one they left unguarded? We should go to one of the portals they watch over. Maybe the Dimension Hoppers will let us through, and open the doors to many more realms, allowing us to explore far beyond. They might help us and welcome us, ma'am.
Kapal cleared his throat.
I agree with this assessment. The Elusians' behavior is rather unlike them, suggesting you meant something to them. They must realize your universe is an artificial pocket dimension, just as I have. Take those words with the implications they hold. If Elusians had nefarious intent towards you, they could have eradicated you with a fraction of their power. Artificial? Takahashi echoed. Yes, universes aren't one star system alone, and your physics are far off the bell curve of normalcy. Sophia remarked on how perfect your system is, and despite its nightmarish aspects, I agree. Those answers, it's unequivocally in your interest to have them. It would explain a great many things. Take it from an android. An entity should understand the environment that it comes from, Mikri commented. I have long since noted that you are an anomaly. It is in your nature to seek answers to questions, especially when you know of a likely non-hostile party that has them. It is of strategic value to understand why others may be tampering with your people as well. That can be very dangerous.
Takahashi stared down the Vaskar before waving her hand dismissively.
The ESU already wanted a diplomatic envoy sent to the Elusians. Having your entire dimension saved by their technology tends to do that. I'm not quite ready to raise a glass to our saviors, but I could humor an expedition. Since you're all so eager, perhaps we should send the first contact jewel off to the unknown again.
Me? I asked. I mean, I do want to thank them, since that would have been the end of humanity either way, but...
Dr. Aguado would benefit from a familiar pilot, and you're to have a great deal of symbolism back home. Are those orders going to be a problem?
Nope. We've been tangled up in everything else. Why not fly out with a margarita machine to meet the literal gods of the multiverse? Piece of cake. Mikri whirled with concern.
Can you please stop sending the humans that I care about into danger for one fucking day? Mikri, Sophia gasped. What's your mouth? I apologize, General. The Vaskar don't have a good grasp on rank or time and place. He means no harm. Takahashi's eyes narrowed. I'm sending the most qualified individuals who proposed this mission in the first place, and were already trained for a one-way trip into the Gap. They have experience negotiating peace with both the Vaskar and the Durandi. The AI should get it through its heads that it doesn't call the shots. We include Ambassador Mikri as a courtesy, and for any valuable input we might receive. Am I clear?
Mikri's eyes darkened.
You are clear. Let me make myself clear also. I could stop you from launching any ships. I grow very tired of watching my friends be subjected to danger. Is that a threat? No, it is a warning, human. Mikri, stop! Sophia protested. I want to go to the Elusians. You and I both agreed that they're not hostile, and that it's important to get answers. Don't try to take being at the heart of new discoveries, the very dream of my entire career, away over probabilities.
You have to accept that we'll be at risk sometimes. We are important people.
Kapal tilted his head.
Sophia and Preston are both historically significant figures. If they disappeared at this instant, what they've done will still be told for millennia. Legends pale in comparison to it, and keeping them caged would deny them their autonomy and the chance to achieve their full potential. Apologize. Right now.
I am sorry, Mikri stated, though he didn't sound like he meant it. I will go with them. Takahashi slammed her fist on the table.
No, you will not. After that outburst, it sounds like you could use some separation from the humans you care about.
That's fine. You win, General. I accept your separation punishment.
Dismissed. You're on thin ice, Vaskar. I don't care how friendly you are. The next time you threaten me, you'll be lucky if all I do is ask your network for a replacement ambassador.
I do not need a replacement. I was angry. It has been stressful to place so much strain on my calculation matrix to assess risks. I will leave you now. I eyed Mikri with suspicion, as the android walked out of the room with murder in his glowing gaze. That brazen threat wasn't what any human wanted to hear from a nice machine. His protectiveness was always a bit dangerous, but the handgun incident during the Spacegate battle seemed to have worsened it. It was a little surprising that he'd relented to being left behind, though something told me that was lip service. Maybe Sophia and I needed to spend some quality time consoling him, since the Vaskar's emotional control seemed to have waned. This episode was my fault, for nearly deleting myself in front of the tin can. I hoped our visit to the Elusians would go without incident, so that we wouldn't give Mikri any more reason to be a mother hen and fret over our welfare.